You know, beautiful friends, our holy rabbis teach us, it is not because in springtime, nature becomes free, therefore also we Jews came out of Egypt at the same time. It's a beautiful time to come out. It's the other way around. It's because when God created the world, this was the month for us to become free of slavery. It is therefore that nature also opens up and comes out. I just want to tell you, Gewalt Teure um the Ishbitze. The Holy Ishbitze says, what is the sun telling the little seed? To begin to grow. So he says the deepest Torah in the world. Sounds so simple, but it's earth-shaking. The sun is telling the seed, don't be afraid to come out. You know, it's frightening. The little seed is undercover under the earth, and suddenly it has to come out in order to grow. It's frightening, right? You know what the greatest light is in the world? The light which gives the strength, mamish, to come out in the open and have beautiful apples. And according to our great Kabbalists, you know, and for us, there are no 4 seasons, winter and summer. According to our holy tradition, summer begins Chamisha, Asar, BiShvat, slowly, slowly. First, the tree begins to have strength again. Then slowly, slowly the sun comes and tells the seed, okay, let's see what you can do. And then mamish, by Shavuos, everything is growing, Gewalt, you know. One more Ishbitze Torah. This is the deepest. You know why in the winter the tree has no apples? The tree says to God, let's face it, for whom should I bring the apples? For people? Look how disgusting they are. I remember last year someone took one of my apples, a creep. So for this creep, God, I mean really, what are you asking me? Me, you know, a class apple tree. I'm a member in this big shul, right? And I'm even a president there. I should waste my apples on those people. I refuse to have apples. You know something else? In the winter, one tree has no connection to another tree. The branches are dead, hanging there. You know why? Because the tree says to God, what? You want my branches to touch the branches of this next door tree? You must be kidding. This tree does not deserve my friendship. You know what's happening in the summer? Suddenly the branches are growing, leaves are growing. One tree touches the other. You know what the greatest light in the world is? The light which tells the apple tree, what do you know about another human being? What do you know about the person who eats the apples? You know nothing. You know nothing. Friends, I want you to know you and I, we meet people in the world. Maybe on the outside, they don't look so good. On the inside. Inside. I want you to BiShvat. Do you know, for a lot of people, BiShvat is not such a big holiday. Really, what kind of a holiday is it? So please go to grow. So, Mazel Tov, what should I do? I'm not a tree, I'm a human being. I'm an unbelievable human being, right? Nebuch, right? I want you to know, I don't want to say anything bad, but I really a little bit judge people inside. What they do on those Kabbalistic holidays when you can get by without doing it. Okay, when you don't keep Shabbos, you have Machal Shabbos. How do you call someone who doesn't keep two BiShvat? Nothing, right? He can still be president of a shul, and he can still do anything. But never, inside, something is missing, right? Inside. Chamisha also BiShvat is inside, friends. I want to bless you and me, and all of you should be inside you. You know what inside is? Small things. Nobody sees it. I don't see the tree growing, Chamisha also BiShvat. But just I know it is. And I know it's happening at the last second. And one more thing which is so important. Sometimes we see a tree, we see people, they're dead for so long. When do you start growing already? The truth is only God knows exactly the second when God gives you new energy to grow. But don't give up on the tree. Don't ever give up on any tree. Don't ever give up on any Jew. I want to share with you one short story, and then we have to sing one more good niggin. Now it's late, but you're such a beautiful audience. I want you to Chamisha also BiShvat, the Mamish, the Holy Land, because I don't know if the trees begin to grow in New York. Chamisha also BiShvat is when the trees begin to grow again in the Holy Land. And we Yidden all over the world are so connected to the Holy Land. Gewaltig connected. One of my favorite stories, I had the privilege. You know, my brother Laser is still here. When we had the house of love and prayer in San Francisco, Laser, I don't know if you remember him. Was a Yidden, he came every Friday night to davening, and gewaltig, he tested my patience, oh Lord of the world. First of all, he didn't like the words of the prayers. Okay, this I knew already. Then he also always told me he's not a religious Jew, he is a cultural Jew. I knew all this, but every Friday night, and he would always stop in the middle of davening, anything. Maybe one night he didn't like Shema Yisrael, and he would stop us in the middle. Gewalt, you needed patience like the end of the world. Anyway, what can you do? He came every Friday night. How can you tell a Yid that don't come, right? Anyway, one time he says he wants to talk to me private. Okay, probably is not so bad, you know. I had a few aspirins before to keep my patients going, etc. and after. Anyway, he meets me and he says to me, I want you to know my dream, his dream. He has 2 daughters. He dreams that one daughter should marry a Protestant and one a Catholic. Because he says there is no other way. There is no other way. The world has to become one. And he told me he has saved up $65,000. And he feels that in San Francisco they're not exposed enough to other religions. But he wants to move to Colorado somewhere. And he told me the whole thing. And hopefully his daughters will be exposed to different people. And this is his dream. Father, mother Jewish, one grandchild Catholic, one grandchild Protestant. And the Moshe never had it so good. Right? I mean, give out. Brings tears to your eyes. He saved $65,000 to fulfill his dream. And again, you know, what do I know, right? What do we know about the inside of this Yiddish? Friends, I want you to open your hearts. Here came the 6-Day War, and I never see him again. Crazy. Couldn't find him. A few years ago, I'm on the Moshav. Suddenly a car pulls up and stops short right in front, 1 inch away from the house. The Yiddish walks out with a long beard, pays, Gartel, the widow knows the story already by heart, and he comes into my house, smiles from payer to payer, from ear to ear, and he says, I have to daven mincha. Gewalt that he daven mincha, putting a lot of rabbis to shame. And the whole time he's smiling and says, okay, so you don't know me, right? I understand you don't know me. But why don't you know me? You know who it is? My cultural Yiddish. My Yiddish whose dream was that one daughter will marry a Protestant, one a Catholic. Well, what happened to you, brother? This is what happened to him. When the war broke out in Israel, 6-Day War, and he saw Mamash, God forbid, Israel, he went to the bank, took out his $65,000, sent it to Israel. His life savings. But you know the way God pays him back? The next morning after he woke up, he thought to himself, this is really my dream? No, my dream is to take my children to Israel. He packed up a few days later, took his 2 daughters, moved to Israel. Right now, Baruch Hashem, his 2 daughters are married to 2 yeshiva bochum, and they're just gewalt. You know what this Yiddish is? Chamisha BiShvat Yiddish. Maybe all his life his apples were not so good, but the roots. And oh, I'm praying with you that all the Eden whose roots are so deep, let their apples also be beautiful, like their roots. Friends, we have one more song and we got to sing strong like crazy. Thank you, my beautiful friends.